I've always been the guy who thinks he's the second coming of Takumi. You know the type. Daily driving impractical sports cars, watching Formula 1 races, thinking I'd be amazing behind the wheel. But then reality struck. I lost to my friend in a kart race, and not just by a little, it was a landslide. That's when it hit me. I wasn't as good as I thought I was. So I did what any reasonable person would do. I dove headfirst into sim racing every day until I win my first race. The build turned out very different from what I had initially imagined. I hadn't kept up with sim hardware for years, so my knowledge was pretty dated. I was thinking of getting a Fanatec wheel and pedals mounted on some sort of budget metal chassis, but after browsing the sim racing subreddit, I went in a completely different direction. I built a DIY wood chassis out of 2x6s from Home Depot with a Simagic wheel and Simjack pedals, and a seat out of a Mark V Volkswagen Rabbit that I picked up from Facebook Marketplace in Compton. If I could do it again, I'd probably just pay admission to a junkyard. I paid about the same price for the seat, and it was a lot dirtier than it looked in pictures. I had to wet vacuum it like 5 or 6 times in the course of 3 days. It still doesn't smell that great, but the manual adjustments on the cloth Volkswagen seat is excellent, and it's very sturdy and comfortable. Most importantly, the seat mounts are flat, making it ideal for mounting on a sim rig. I thought the entire build would be a quick one-day project, but it turned out to be a 2-week commitment of cutting, sanding, and waiting for paint to dry. But the rig eventually came together, and now I had no excuses. It was time to start racing. But let me tell you, the beginning was rough. I thought I'd jump into the sim, turn a few laps, and start crushing it. Oh boy, was I wrong. I spun out more times than I could count. I couldn't even think about my lap times because I was too busy trying not to crash. The frustration was real. I raged more than I care to admit.
Are you fucking serious?
Fuck. I'd walk away from the sim, questioning if I'd ever get the hang of it. Every session felt like defeat, and there were moments when I wondered if this was another one of my impulse buys that turned out to be a huge waste of time and money. But I couldn't stop picturing my friend passing me and getting farther and farther away out of reach. Let me tell you about my friend. He is literally the nicest guy I know. He's also a role model father of 2 kids. If I wasn't racing, I'd even be rooting for him. But I was in the race, and it wasn't just about finishing second. Actually, I almost came in 3rd. Losing that race forced me to confront the truth. I wasn't the driver I thought I was. It sparked something in me. I became obsessed. Not just with beating my friend next time, but with proving to myself that I can drive. I wasn't about to give up because this was never supposed to be fun and games for me. I wasn't driving to have fun. I was racing for victory. Little by little, things started to click. First, I realized that my wheel settings were making it almost impossible to catch mistakes, so I changed the settings to copy Dan Suzuki's in his review of the Alpha Mini. Even then, the improvements didn't come right away, but I began making small progress. I learned how to control the car under braking, how to actually use all of the track, and how to commit to a corner to carry the most speed without losing control. I started paying attention to my delta, trying to shave a few tenths off every sector. With each small step forward, I could feel myself getting better. And for the first time, I was seeing real progress. I started signing up for real races against real people. At first, I couldn't shake my nerves, and I regressed. The pressure of ruining other people's races got to me, and I drove worse.
Why did you do that?
After a few horrible races, I wasn't so nervous anymore, and I started to learn a bit of clean racecraft. Eventually, I started to get pretty decent at driving the beginner car, the MX-5. I was becoming one with the car and my lap times got faster. I wasn't just surviving the race anymore. I was starting to race smarter. I knew to hold back through the first few laps before turning up the pace once my tires were fully warm. Driving slow and steady at the start let the overzealous drivers crash out of the race on their own. Pressuring the remaining drivers by showing up in their side mirrors would sometimes cause mistakes and leave a door open for me to overtake. I even began narrating my races out loud, talking through each section. Brake early here, get a good exit for the long straight. It helped me stay focused, and for the first time, I felt like I actually belonged on the track. And then, finally, after all the frustration and practice, it happened.
Yes!
I won my first race. Crossing that finish line in first place was surreal. I can't describe the feeling.
That's it.
That's a win. See you in victory lane.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh, first week of iRacing and I already have not just a podium, but a win. Oh my god. Oh, it's so awesome.
It was about proving to myself that maybe this wasn't a mistake after all. That win wasn't just a win, it was validation. A moment that made me realize I was finally going in the right direction. Of course, as soon as I got that win, I did what any budding sim addict would do. I got myself more content, new tracks, and a new car. Because winning that one race wasn't enough. I wanted more. And I thought to myself that I deserved it as a reward. I jumped straight into the Ferrari GT3 thinking that I could master it quickly, since I was getting pretty comfortable in the MX-5.
It's clear, watch the line.
Okay, that's a lot faster than an MX-5. Oh god, the steering is so heavy. Wow, that corner is so tight.
But as soon as I got behind the wheel, I realized the road ahead is still long. There's a lot more to learn, and I've just barely scratched the surface.